Hey everyone, it's Radio Josie,
And I'm Baltimore Lauren.
and this is episode 4 of Bmore Geek Girls, and we have puppetized ourselves for today so that we can put this episode up on YouTube as well as our new Soundcloud, which you can like and follow at soundcloud.com now.
Oh, that's really exciting. I'm very excited to be on SoundCloud. I'm also excited to be Kermit the Frog today.
Yes, and I, of course, am Animo!
Is it because you like drums?
Yes, but also, have you met me? This
That's
is
true.
fitting
You
in multiple ways.
have raised an excellent point.
Yeah, it was sort of a twofold thing. So I'm very excited for this week. First of all, I have to call myself out for being a liar because in last week's episode, I said I wasn't really interested in going out to the bars and restaurants yet. And we went to Wawa to get gas, and Glory Days Grill was open, and I could see across the parking lot fresh, cool glasses of beer in pint glasses, fresh out of a tap.
Oh my
And
God.
I could not resist, and we went to Glory Days, and I had a little half rack of ribs and a couple pints of Yingling.
So I have to ask, because I have not been out to eat, though I did go to an antique store yesterday. How was it dining outside? Like, were people respectful? Was everything spaced out? How was the experience?
Where I was actually really great. They had the tables, I think, even more than 6 feet apart. The
wow.
waiters and busboys and all the rest of the staff were all wearing masks and gloves. They had a protocol set up with the busboy to clear everything, and the busboy was like standing out there so that the dirty plates and dishes would be moved away, but it wasn't the server taking your dirty stuff. So servers only brought the clean stuff out, and then the busboy took care of all the dirty stuff. So there wasn't any like mixing of things. And they had the tables limited to 6 per person. I don't think any of the tables actually had 6 people. And so it was actually pretty good. It was kind of like how I would like restaurants to be all the time. Like there was only one table that was kind of loud, and it was actually just a table for 2. So it wasn't, yeah, it really wasn't that bad. And it was just some guy with a really obnoxious laugh.
So were people smoking, or were they still adhering to like the no smoking at bars thing? Does that even apply to outdoors?
That does apply to outdoors these days, because I think there's like designated outdoor smoking areas these days.
Okay.
I don't really track that too much because I don't really smoke, but there was one guy, and I was trying to figure out what his deal was, because I don't think he was a patron, because I didn't ever see him sitting with people. But there was one guy that seemed to be out there on a vape for like a very long time, and I think he was just somebody that ordered carry out. And might have been like just hanging out waiting for it, but he stood over by his car, and so it wasn't that bad, except for when the wind kind of blew one way, and we were sitting on the edge of the patio, and he was like over by his parked car, so it kind of was just like I smelled the fruity bubblegum delicious. I was like, what is that? I was like, I mean, the guy was like 40 or 50 feet away, and it just happened to make its way down there, so I don't even think that was on him,
Right.
But I am going to become more socially distantly social this week after doing that. And I'm actually going to go do an outdoor social distancing visit after the podcast. And I am going to get my hair cut on Wednesday. Yay!
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait.
I've been following your hair saga on Facebook, and it's funny. Because I physically haven't seen you in months, I didn't realize that your hair doesn't have like color right now. So I saw the picture. I didn't even recognize you.
Yeah, I couldn't decide what color. By the way, if you hear a bunch of racket, Sheena has decided that the paperclip on the floor is the enemy, and Is like
Well,
all over
Sheena
TikTok
is a
right now.
punk rocker, so
She
you go,
is.
Sheena.
She's also getting lots of love on the Chunky. This cat is Chunky, the world famous Facebook group. Sheena is getting love on it right now.
Oh, Sheena.
Yeah. So yeah. So my hair does not have any color in it right now because I was on the phone with unemployment when I was in the middle of coloring it, and then I had somewhere to go. So I didn't have time to put the color in. And then it was like, oh well. And then I never picked a color, even though I have like 4 at my house. I could put whatever color I wanted, and then I just never picked a color. And so it's just been, I've been rocking platinum, which is fine, but it's the lack of cut that's been killing me because my hair is naturally curly and it's like standing straight up now.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So
My hairstylist messaged me on Instagram, and she was like, "Hey, I know we had an appointment back before everything shut down. I'd like to get you back on books, blah, blah, blah." So I'm not seeing her until the middle of July. And I'm okay with that. I'd be okay if it got pushed back even further, to be honest. Like, I don't really care about my hair that much, but I'm torn because like I want to be socially responsible and not do a lot of things that involve close contact. But at the same time, I want to support her because she is a hardworking woman, and, I don't want to see her suffer. So, but the earliest she could get me in was the middle of July. So I guess we'll wait and see what happens. Yeah, a lot of people were out this weekend. A lot of things happening this weekend.
yes. Yes. So yeah. About
And you
all
know
that.
what? It's about time. It is about time. Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
And it's abhorrent the way this country has been treating Black people for really forever.
Right. It's not like this just started. This is nothing new. Somebody put up an article about protests and riots where they had stuff starting back into like the basically 1800s after the Civil War. But I mean, even the Civil War and before that, and this country was built on the backs of slaves, and anybody who says otherwise is ignorant, didn't pay attention, or a racist liar.
Right, exactly. And people are like, well, they should have been protesting peacefully. Well, they tried that. They really did try that. And it cult, whatever the word I'm trying to say is, it wound up that like Colin Kaepernick was kneeling during a game, and the vice president stood up and left. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, my guy? But it's the news cycle has been interesting to watch.
Yeah.
I wish I could get out there and protest with them, but unfortunately, because I have a number of disabilities, it's hard for me to actually be out protesting.
Same. Well, yeah, we share a lot of those things. And yes, same. I cannot be physically out there. Plus, those same physical disabilities make us both more prone to COVID, which is also no good. But we can post, we can donate, we can amplify, we can support Black-owned businesses, we can support other minorities, and all kinds of other things like that. You don't have to go out into the street necessarily to be a good ally if that's not what you can do. So
Right. And the cool thing about Baltimore is we have so many Black-owned businesses. One of my favorites is Catwalk Boutique in Fells Point. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Is that on the main square?
It's off the main square. I'm pretty sure, if I remember, it's off of Alisana.
Oh yeah.
And it's next to Angel Park Boutique. They're a husband-wife duo. They own both. And I actually shop at both stores. So incredibly lovely couple. But the Catwalk Boutique, her accessories are so amazing and just stunning. I love shopping there. And Angel Park is some excellent men's clothing that I buy for myself because I love loose-fitting clothing. And it's just Just a great business that has been in the community for, I want to say, close to 20 years now. And they do a lot. They give back. They help with city schools. They donate shoes. They donate food, all that other stuff. They're just a genuinely good place to shop.
I made some donations to a friend who was doing the protests in Pittsburgh, and I found out through some, I don't know, my mom sent me this link to something where apparently she had some charitable donation money that she could give through some, I don't know what she was talking about, but she had some money to donate. So it's not me really donating it, but she asked me who she should give it to. And I had picked Paul's Place, which is a charity that I'd worked with before and had found out about when I was with the MTA. And they're down in South Baltimore, and they do homeless outreach and hot meals, and they help with employment services and things like that, but they reach out to the community in South Baltimore. It's not just, they help everybody. It doesn't matter, what color you are, but they help everybody. But of course, when you're talking about, in the city in Baltimore, this is a majority city. So it does help the community in a big way. I really, really, really love them because they don't turn people away and that kind of thing. So it was cool where she was like, well, whatever. Cause I was schooling her on some stuff cause she was annoying me. And, sometimes we got to do the labor for people. So I was schooling my mom on some stuff, and she's like, okay, well, I have these charity dollars. Where should I go? And I said, well, how about Paul's Place? So.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yeah. We're doing some stuff.
It is always good to donate, to give back, amplify voices. And then also to try not to change the wording or the images that people might be putting on their posts. It is not your place as a white person to change a person of color's words or images they might be using at this time. But I will let you tell this story because you can tell it so much better than I can.
Yeah. So I went to school and grew up in a very rural white area that seems to be deep in the heart of Trump country at this point. And not all of us came out of there backwards, obviously. And one of my friends made a post, or one of my little school friends, we rode the school bus together in elementary school, made this post. And one of the image that they used for their post was the Black Panther fist salute. And I shared their post verbatim directly off their page. I just hit share. It took the image with it. That's just what their post was. And it was a post about how they grew up, where I grew up, but have now family members who are people of color. And they were pointing out that even though poor white people have it hard, Black people have it harder because they're Black, and poor white people who are saying, what about me, need to shut up and listen, basically. And that was his image that he used. And so I shared it, and some old white guy showed up and said, why am I not using a peace sign and a rainbow flag and all these other happy, positive images? And I said, well, I didn't make the post. I just shared my friend's post. What are you even talking about? And he was like, well, blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't, whatever. And it was like his feelings were hurt or something because I shared this post that had the Black Panther salute, and he was telling me I shouldn't have, or something. I don't know what he was exactly trying to say, other than I should have edited my friend's post, I guess. I wasn't even trying to figure out what he was saying because I just
all I could make out was that I think he was angry at the original post, but he was telling you to use this image instead of the image that was not in the post that you created.
Right. And I didn't create the post. I shared the post. I tried to explain that, and he got all defensive about it. And was like, dude, that's not how Facebook works. If somebody made a post and I shared the post, that's the way the post is. And I basically said to him, who are you to try to edit somebody else's post and change somebody else's words? Like, what? Like, no. And he's like, well, freedom of speech, and I can comment however I want on your post. And it was like, and then he
Sure,
told us to calm
you're
down.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing that gets me. Like this is a two-part thing.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you have the freedom of speech. That is absolutely correct. But that doesn't mean you are free from consequences of that speech. To follow up with, like, myself and like one other woman came in and said, like, hey, she was just sharing a post. And his immediate reply was, all of you need to calm down.
Like, no.
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 That's the most demeaning thing. None of us, I wasn't angry. I literally said, like, she just shared a post, man. Like, that it is what it is. Like, I don't
I
know what to
wasn't
tell you.
angry until he told me to calm down.
That's when I got angry. Like, how dare you? I hate that. I hate when it's like, well, you know, your opinion is wrong because you're a woman and women are hysterical. So just calm down. Like, no, that's not what's happening here. So I blocked him because I don't have the time of day for that kind of stuff. I think you blocked him too.
I blocked him because he said, if you don't like me posting on your post and sharing my opinion, then block me. And I was like, did you not see my post from the other day where I said, if I think you're a racist or a full crap, I'm going to block you. And here you are, a white male, telling other people how to post about racism in America. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that's happening. It's my birthday month. It's Pride Month. The world is going to hell. And you, Mr. Old White Guy, are now trying to tell me how to react to things and how to post and what to share. And you want me to go what? Back and try to tell my friend to edit his post? I don't think so. No. Like, no. That's no.
But on a plus side, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.
It is Pride Month. I'm a little sad that there will be no celebrations this year, no block parties, but that's okay. That's okay. Because Pride is year round for many of us. So, you know, we can celebrate another time. We can celebrate all the time. Literally celebrate every day. Speaking of Pride, I recently received a gift from Under Armour.
Oh.
And I have not seen them yet. They're sitting in my mail pile at home because I am not at my house. I'm at my other house. My boyfriend would definitely disagree with that, but he's not here to fight me, so.
That's not your house.
It's definitely my house. No. So Under Armour sent me their Pride collection hover shoe, the laceless tennis shoe they released for this year. And I gotta say, their collection this year goes back to the Pride flag, the original Pride flag. It's a gorgeous collection. I am super excited to try these shoes on. I needed a new pair of workout shoes, so this actually works out really well. But yeah, I'm super excited. Plus, they're from Baltimore. That's pretty cool.
Well, speaking of Pride flag, I updated our Facebook banner today.
Oh.
Did you not see it yet?
I've been writing all day.
Oh, yes. We have the rainbow flag. I was debating and even thought about messaging you. Should I put the rainbow flag? Should I put the bi flag?
No,
should I put the super duper ultra rainbow flag that has like all the colors and the extra colors and a little triangle on the side with the even more colors, or like, but then I was like, let's just go basic rainbow and keep it simple.
You know, I mean, we could do one every single day.
Well, that's true, but then that's more work for me. That's why I just want basic rainbow. I was like, well, we could put the bi flag, and that's cool. But then it was like, well, I don't want anybody to think that we're exclusionary just because we are what we are.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I just went with the standard because I started overthinking like multiple degrees and just fizzled and went classic.
Oh man, I feel that. So now that everything's kind of starting to reopen, where was I going with this? Heck, when I'm back in Baltimore, we should have a social distance lunch where we go and get a drink and be socially responsible and sit far away from each other.
That sounds lovely.
And talk.
Yes. We'll find out when you're back in town offline. And I'm just trying to think anything else. Oh, I am going out on Friday. I'm going to go out to Valley Inn.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, my boss
So,
is spinning there again, and apparently I am going to start working again soon, so I need to go get like
mm,
reacclimated to society.
I
I told you I'm
understand
not
that.
ready. I said I need to ease back into people. I've gone like feral.
So this weekend, like we had a nice weekend. Um, we walked to, so we're in like a really lovely area of Pennsylvania. It's like a pre-Civil War era town. And Saturday night we were like, we just needed to get out of the house and do something. So we walked to like a popular ice cream spot up here, and we ran into some friends that we have up here. We all stood in the parking lot like 6 feet apart from each other, eating our ice cream. It was a nice evening. The ice cream place did not have strawberry. They were out of strawberry.
Oh, just out. So it wasn't like they don't carry it.
Well, I was like, "Do you guys have strawberry?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "That's the third most popular flavor in America." But it's okay, not a big deal. It could have been much worse. They still had chocolate. Um, so we did that, and then we had some drinks on the porch yesterday with some other people we knew. You can definitely see that people are just going out and doing things now. I think I personally am still okay with just being isolated from everybody, but I also have the privilege of working from home, which is nice. But you could just see it, like I said earlier, we went to an antique store yesterday, and there were people out doing things. Like the bars here aren't open; they're not open to outdoor dining yet, but people were out doing things.
Yeah, I think there's sort of quarantine fatigue, and it's the weather's nice now and
Right.
people just want to go do things. But yeah, for me, I can do some of my work from home, which is nice. But one of my jobs requires me to go into a retail setting, and one of my jobs requires me to go into a bar and restaurant setting, which is right now, I guess, out to a bar and restaurant setting. So, you know, those bills don't pay themselves.
No, they
And
certainly don't.
unemployment doesn't last forever, and I'm not the kind of person who does well sitting still. So I got to get out there and do something. But in
Yeah.
the meantime, I did finish the last Airbender.
All right. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was really cute. So I wanted to watch The Legend of Korra, but on Xfinity they want like $2.99 an episode, or you can
Oh,
buy the
cool.
seasons on Prime for like $26, or I can register for a free trial of Nick Hits on Prime and try to cram all 4 seasons in 7 days in their free trial.
I think you can do it.
I think I can do it too. So that might be my like project next week, just to binge that whole show. And really, I didn't really do too many nerdy things unless you count all my gardening as nerdy. Like I've been doing a lot of gardening with the good weather and
Yeah.
catching up on some painting. One of them is a very nerdy Star Trek chair I'm working on. No, Star Wars chair I'm working
Ooh.
on. That's what it is.
Ooh.
We have some Star
Uh,
Wars fabric, and I'm recovering like the seat of the chair with it, and then the rest of the chair matches.
that's cool.
Yeah, I've just been
I
fighting the weather.
The weather has been beautiful. Like I call it convertible weather because I drive a convertible, and I've definitely been taking advantage of it, and I love it.
The weather's been beautiful, but when it's too windy, you can't spray paint. And when it's too humid, you
Oh,
can't
that's
spray
true.
paint. You can definitely drive with the top down, but you can't spray paint.
No, it's true. Oh, I have a cat that's trying to cuddle with me. Hello. She's a good girl.
I still have Sheena at my feet trying to destroy the world.
But I mean, yeah, we watched Hairspray this weekend. The NBC Hairspray Live was on YouTube for like this past weekend only. So we watched that. It was a lot of fun. And then we listened to about 2 hours of Hanoi Rocks. And that was fun.
Is that a benefit?
So what?
Hanoi Rocks. What's that?
That's a band.
Oh.
It's a band from the 80s.
Oh.
Listen to them. And then, yeah, it's been a really nice, I'm sorry, everybody, you're just going to have to deal with this cat. Just a nice weekend to protest and to watch. You are such a good girl. And to watch Hairspray and to watch Cattails.
Eat cat.
Oh my God. Jesus, this tail. This is how I die.
Okay, so not too much geeky things, but we did have to address, yes, words, what is going on in the world, because we are not silent. We will not be silent.
No.
Silence is complicitness. Yes. So.
Oh, there is something happening in the nerd world. Denver Pop Culture Con has canceled.
Okay.
So they will return May of 2021. Let's see. Is that a cat?
Sheena has decided that she needed to come up. Yes. That's how loud she purrs.
I understand.
She's a chonky princess.
So Denver Pop Culture Con has canceled. They'll be back next year. I think Tampa Comic Con is happening, this month. Because Florida said, fuck it, and reopened. So,
Florida.
Which leads me to Universal Orlando is reopening on June 5th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Disney's still waiting until like July, right?
Disney isn't opening until July. Universal Florida's hotels open tomorrow. So if you're going to Universal tomorrow, you can get into the parks tomorrow or like 2 days ahead of time. And then they open to the public June 5th at limited capacity. You will be required to wear masks and, oh my gosh, cat. And, and sorry. She's a beautiful cat though. Her name is Lygia. You'll be required to wear masks. There will be hand washing stations. There will be no character meet and greets. Employees will also be wearing masks, and social distancing will be enforced. So if you are planning on visiting a theme park, maybe don't. Disney will not be reopening until July. Disneyland in Anaheim has not, I don't think anything in California is reopening yet because Universal Hollywood hasn't made any announcement. Knott's Berry Farm has not made any announcements. Disneyland has not made any announcements. Meanwhile, in Japan, Universal Japan is reopening this month as well. Tokyo Disneyland has not made any announcements whether they're opening, but they are not owned by Disney. They are owned by the Oriental Land Company. So they're still deciding. In Shanghai Disney has reopened. Hong Kong Disneyland has not reopened. And Disneyland Paris is still closed. So that's all your theme park updates or theme parks that I am personally into. Lygia, please go over there.
I love it. Cattails, woohoo!
So yeah, a lot of people, I'm in a lot of like Disney park fan groups. And let me tell you, people are big mad that they would have to wear a mask in the park. And they don't believe in social distancing. And it's not magical if I can't hug Mickey Mouse because character meet and greets are currently postponed. And they're not doing fireworks either because that involves a lot of people gathering in one spot. So people are big mad. And they're like, well, I'm going to cancel my annual pass. I'm going to cancel my Disney Vacation Club. I'm not going to go to Disney. I'm going to spend my money elsewhere. First of all, do you know how privileged it is for you to be like, well, I'm going to cancel my yearly Disney trip? How lucky are you? So many people can't even go to Disney once, whether they can't afford it or they just don't want to go. But you're in such a place of privilege maybe take a step back and be like, you know what, this is bigger than me. It's not a big deal. I'll just go next year. I won't pitch a fit about it. Not a big deal. There are worse things in this life than not being able to go to Disney and hug Mickey Mouse.
I would have to agree, as I am still a never been, and my family couldn't afford it when I was growing up, and finally went when my brother had a high school band trip there, and they went without me. They didn't even invite me.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't even an option. And then I just, at this point, have no desire to go until my nieces are old enough to go or whatever, and then, go with them. But I will say, I just checked on Hershey Park, since that is the park that I went to through most of my childhood and was lucky enough to go like multiple times a year, because back when I was a kid, the after 5 o'clock rate was $20.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The sunset rates. Hell yeah.
We were up there all the time. Now the sunset rate's like $50. It's like, what? I mean, don't quote me on the $50, but it's still gone up. But they do plan on opening in July as well. And what they're saying for season pass holders is that they've extended the season passes through June 30th, 2021 for the 2020 season passes. And all current season pass holders will get an additional day for every day the park is closed in 2020. So that's how they're handling those season pass holders. If you bought a 2020 season pass for Hershey Park, they're just adding the time on to next year's season pass.
Okay. That's good to know. That's interesting. I try to go to Hershey Park at least once a year because I do genuinely like it. I mean, it's close to where I live. It's not a bad park at all. As you know, I used to go to Disney World all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I went was March of 2019. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm okay with not going all the time. There's more to life than a Disney park. And plus, I don't know if I really want to be around all those people.
Yeah, like I said, I'm easing back into society. I was tempted out of my car into public dining in the name of ice cold draft beer. Like, I don't know if I can
get it.
Crowds and waiting in long lines yet. I'm still waiting in line to get into shopping, grocery shopping and things.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I've waited in no lines. Like, I time it because the Wegmans by me used to have a line between like 11 to 4, but after 4:30 there was no line. You could just walk in. So I started doing that. Growls never has a line. I don't think I've waited in any kind of line since this whole thing began. I waited in line. I'm probably forgetting.
I waited in line for a couple places, Walmart, Collector's Corner, where I work. I waited in line, and I'm an employee because I went in to pick up my box on an off day, and there I was in line with everybody else.
I did wait in line I did get in line for Third Eye Comics, but there was only like 3 people in front of me, so I don't really count that as a line.
It's still a line. Like, if I'm still waiting in line to shop, basically, I have no interest in waiting in line for a fun activity, like a roller coaster. Or, well, I mean, yeah, basically. I'm already standing in line too much.
Has Baltimore County gone into phase 2 yet?
Well, yeah, that's what the dining outdoors and stuff is, isn't it?
Oh, that's part of it. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Oops. Well, touche.
Oh, touche. Yeah, I bunged my elbow. So.
Ouch.
Yeah. So that's about it. I am gonna attempt some social distance socializing today, and then we can get back to some nerdy stuff and geeky stuff, and hopefully stuff in Baltimore that isn't people having to protest and riot because their voices are not being heard, because racism is still alive and well in America, even though we wish that it wasn't.
Yep. So with that, where can we find you online, Josie?
At Radio Josie on all the things.
On all the things. Cool. You can find me on Twitter at Baltimore Lauren. You can find me on Instagram, Lauren from Baltimore. You can also read my stuff at bleedingcool.com. I like to piss people off because I write about both the Disney parks and about old comic books, and apparently it is impossible for people to like more than one thing. Who fucking knew?
Wow.
So yeah, we love you guys. Please stay safe. Like and subscribe. Hit that cute little bell icon so you know when we upload new content, and we'll see you next week.